Everyone says Minecraft's inventory is outdated for the modern day. I can see what they mean. They keep adding new items and blocks, but we still have the same old inventory. They tried fixing it with bundles, but most people were left unsatisfied. The thing that I never understood was that the solution has been right in front of us the whole time. I solved the inventory problem in my world, and I'll show you how. So now that the creeper farm is done and I got all the gunpowder I could need and lots of rockets, got a bunch stocked up in my ender chest, I'm on to the next thing. And I've decided after doing a bit of thinking about it, I want to go end busting again. I haven't been end busting in a long time, and I really want more shulker boxes because I remember back building that castle and really any builds I've been doing on this world, it's just such a pain having to constantly go back and forth between my storage room and the build, forgetting materials, thinking of new things to add. So I want to set up an ender chest shulker system. I want to get enough shulker boxes to fill up my ender chest completely and then get it all sorted out neatly with lots of different building block options. And then hopefully that'll reduce the amount of back and forth I have to do whenever I do building. And I can just kind of focus on the building more, not worry so much about getting materials constantly. I didn't bring my main gear. Got all backups right now. I was not trying to risk all of my netherite gear. Wow, this is the first time I'm seeing those purple flashes. That's cool. It's the first time in game myself actually, and I just looked at an enderman. Uh-oh. Better get out of here. Wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that it actually changes how the ground looks. All the blocks around you turn purplish too. Not sure if I brought enough materials for this end busting trip, because it might be a long one. I'm going to need a lot of shulker boxes. I do have a lot of fireworks in my ender chest, like I said before, but I didn't really bring a whole lot of food now that I'm looking at it. I want to say I went in this direction on an old end busting trip before, so I'm going to kind of angle out slightly differently, just in case that's the case. I've got a lot of building ideas for future projects here, and I'm pretty excited to start working on them, but I know that doing this first is going to help so much. Inventory management is so huge in this game nowadays. There's so many different blocks to deal with. It's pretty hard to beat an ender chest shulker system, I gotta say. Just having it on me all the time, only taking up one slot in my inventory. Eventually I'm gonna have to make a full-on sorting system and big storage room, I'm sure. Eventually that's going to be needed, but for now I feel like just an ender chest full of shulkers is going to be plenty for me. And here's our first end city. Got one with a ship too. I do have plenty of elytras, so I don't think it's really that big of a deal for me to see the ships, but it's cool anyways. Man, how many shulkers are here? Whoa, there's another city right next to it. No way. I thought there was only supposed to be 3 shulkers on a ship. There's so many here. Alright, I'm back. I noticed that my computer was having a bit of a hard time handling the recording. And man, I watched it back and I kind of just made a slideshow. I didn't even record video there. I was messing with some of my settings a few days back on OBS. And yeah, I think I definitely screwed something up because it was running really choppy. It said my encoder was overloaded, so I knew that that was a bad thing. I just had to stop recording for the moment. Did a bit of research and changed some stuff up. Hopefully it's better now, but we'll see. I did a couple of test recordings just to see how it would look with these new settings, and they seem to be a lot better now. Hopefully that's still the case with longer recordings like I'm doing here. Yeah, I was really looking at those OBS settings for a good, maybe a couple hours, honestly. There's so many things you can change, and I'm completely out of my element when it comes to that stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. I was just trying to look things up and understand it better, but there's so much to it. It's such a rabbit hole you could get lost in. Yeah, it's kind of tough to find the right recording settings for me. I don't really have the craziest PC ever. Actually, I don't have a PC at all if we're being technical about it. I'm just playing on a laptop. Someday I'm sure I'll get a PC. and that'll make things a whole lot easier. I'm pretty excited to come back from this end busting trip though. Once I've gotten lots of shulker shells and I can set up that ender chest shulker system, and I feel like it's going to be so much easier to get builds done. So much easier to just enjoy the process of building instead of worrying about gathering resources, going back and forth constantly. I think I will finally get back to focusing on a lot more building once I get back from this end busting trip here. It's actually what I was going to do right after the creeper farm, but I think this is pretty critical just for making building process go smoother to do this first. For a very long time I've wanted to have a very long-term world, forever world if you really want to call it that. I guess that's the popular term for it nowadays. But like so many others, I've lost motivation many times. I think this is the one world where maybe I never will. And recording it has really made all the difference in that. Couldn't really tell you why exactly. Maybe it's just that I'm sharing it with others and it makes it more meaningful to me. I feel like multiplayer has always been a more memorable experience overall in this game. And while this isn't exactly multiplayer, it kind of has that same feeling in a way when I get to share what I've done with whoever cares, whoever wants to watch. And it's also cool being able to go back to previous videos my own. No way. What? There's 3 end cities here in a row and they all have ships. But as I was saying, being able to go back and see what I did in the past on this world whenever I want to on those old videos, that's pretty cool too. It also adds another creative element to the entire experience for me, being able to edit the videos, and that's honestly been pretty fun as well, learning all about that and trying out different techniques or whatever you want to call them. I definitely did not bring enough food. I'm probably gonna have to leave here early. Oh, they kicked me out. That's no fun. Okay, I only need one more shell to be able to fill the entire ender chest. I'm gonna try and make it the rest of the way through this end city before I go. I'm sure I'll get at least one shulker shell from the whole rest of the city. But like I said, I'm running low on food. I only got 8 golden carrots left, and there's the shulker shell I needed. Alright, that's plenty of shells now. It's way more than I need actually to fill up the ender chest. I'm not gonna get super greedy here. I'm just gonna head back now. I'll see if I can find an exit portal, but just in case I don't, I'm just gonna head back towards where I came from. That way I can guarantee a way out either way. And I'm not gonna lie, these rockets kind of suck. Maybe I should start making the longer flight duration rockets now that I have so much gunpowder. I forgot to mention earlier, I actually updated to 1.21.10 finally. Been waiting on my mod pack to get a full release version for 1.21.10. And it's finally happened after like 8 betas or something crazy like that. I could just do the betas, but I don't really want to put my world at risk. So at least for now I'm content waiting for full release versions. Well, I wouldn't say content, but I'd rather do that than risk something happening to my world. I'm gonna fill up this whole ender chest now. I need 17 shulker boxes.